God said, I was in the gym. He said, he's going to text you in 5 days. Do not text him back. Plain as day. I cannot make this up. I will not make this up. I will not lie on YouTube to the people. I'm not lying to y'all. I was in the gym and God said he is going to text you in 5 days. Do not text him back. Guess what I did? So this is what I did. When he texted me, I was like, oh, he texted me. Because we hadn't talked in a while. Like I told you, this was our routine. Like go a couple months without talking to each other and then, right? So when he texted me, I counted the days. I was like, he really texted me in 5 days. And I didn't text him back instantly. I didn't text back at all. What I did was maybe a week later, I hearted the message. Child, talk about disobedience. Do not. God said what he said. Now, he said what he said. Don't spin it how you want to spin it now. Just listen.
Is it really something, or is it really trusting? 'Cause I can back up all I do.
Hello. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Hair is back. Get into it. Is it giving? What's it giving? My name is Makia Janae, and I am a multidisciplinary artist and entrepreneur who has successfully blended my worlds and platforms together. I successfully eliminated confusion, and I help other entrepreneurs and multidisciplinary artists to do the same. But today, I am Makia Janae, the speaker, here to give you clarity about exactly where you are at this moment in time in your life, specifically through a transition. And if you're feeling my vibe, go ahead and subscribe. If you are new here, then you probably aren't aware that this is a 10 weeks series, a framework structured by the 10 self-care tips extracted from my ebook, I'm No Superhuman, the moment I truly expressed what was hurting me. And today I'm going to dig into that book a little bit. But the 10 self-care tips, you could get those right now for free by clicking the link in the description. You could have these 10 self-care tips to carry with you throughout life when life gets hard. If you need a reminder, like, what was that Makia has said? Clock it. Like you could just pull it up on your phone and it'll be a reminder for you to remember who the F you are. Okay? Especially going through a season of transition. It's about taking care of you while you are going through drastic changes in your life. I'm going through one right now that I haven't really spoken, that I haven't really talked about in the series, and it's been changing me and shifting me, and God has really been turning my life upside down for the better. And so when I speak to you all, I'm speaking from where I am. Of course, I give examples from years ago, but there's always a transition. If you constantly want to be the best version of yourself, then you're going to constantly go through these transitions. But the good news is, the more you go through them, the more you'll learn how to ground yourself and put your faith and hope in your Heavenly Father and the good Lord above. So last week, we spoke about tithes and offering. I know that it is a very sensitive topic, but everything that I said was in love and is what I believe to be the truth. But this week right here, self-care tip number, what video are we on? I think this is 5. Respect other people's journey, but do not neglect your own. Okay, we're going to get into it. And today we are going to use the example from the I'm No Superhuman ebook. Okay, for 9 years, How many years, y'all? How many years? 9 years I was in a situationship with this guy. So in love with him. And we were so comfortable with this cycle of doing us. So comfortable that it kept me from expressing what was truly going on within me. And it led him to believe that the way he was treating me was competent, and it wasn't. Until one day he said something that pissed me off. He asked me a question that was very disrespectful, and I'm gonna let y'all in on. I'm gonna see if y'all could guess. Okay, after I read y'all a snippet from the story, but he asked me a question that really shifted something inside of me to stand up for myself. And it was in that moment I knew that if I allowed him to continue to act in this spirit of entitlement, that it would continue and that he would think it was okay. And I would have continued neglecting myself by assuming that what we had was healthy, and it wasn't. It was familiar. Come on now, clock it. It was very, very familiar, but it wasn't healthy. Today I want to give y'all the backstory. I'm not going to give you all the story. I'm going to give you the backstory of this 9 year situationship. And then I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can respect other people's journey and without neglecting your own. Child, I gotta find my glasses, honey. Wipe off my glasses. Because it's story time. Very much so. Let's get into it. Would you believe that I was an involuntary emotional side chick? Mm-hmm. Meaning, like a girl who was still emotionally attached to her ex after the relationship was done, even after he moved on to be with someone else. That was me, guilty. And I was one for years too. We were both somewhat satisfied with the fact that there was a genuine connection, that commitment wasn't realistic for us, and that keeping distance felt best. This meant talking twice a month, every 2 months out the year. The plan was to work on ourselves while we were apart and eventually reconnect. So I thought this peaceful pattern continued for 7 years strong until my car got stuck in a ditch in 2021. Oh, nah. He didn't come straight out and tell me that he had a girlfriend like the rest of the guys I had dealt with. I discovered I was blocked after messaging him to assist me with my car. That's how I knew. That's how I found out. But don't let me take all the credit. Earlier that morning on my way to work, God vividly said to me, he has a girlfriend. And me being so unsure of how sharp my spiritual ear was, I assumed I was tripping. It was later confirmed when I called him on my coworker's phone and all he could do was stutter. A conversation was had the next day, and his exact words were, "It's crazy because she kind of reminds me of you." Followed up with, "She doesn't judge me." Baffled by his perspective, I sat in silence to let him hear himself speak. I eventually spoke my feelings, but I was too unaware of the damage that had been done to even articulate what was truly hurting me. I just knew it didn't feel like my fault this time. This was his choice. But even after him making that decision, I emotionally remained attached. Therefore, I would experience the anger, arrogance, and stubbornness of his confusion for every sporadic encounter after that. This was such a turning point for me because this was someone I thought I was going to marry. as I said, we had an agreement. Like, yeah, we're not ready for commitment right now, but you get yourself together while we're not talking. I'm gonna get myself together while we're not talking. And then when we do reconnect, we're gonna get married. Like, we're gonna be together, like we're gonna get in a relationship, and we're gonna work towards this union that we've been talking about for the past 7 years. It didn't dawn on me that it was disrespect. Not disrespectful because he had a girlfriend per se, but because prior to, like a couple weeks prior to this encounter, he was asking me questions like, "Do you miss me?" Da 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 da. Like, so I'm thinking like, okay, we're about to get into it. We're about to get together. Like, my boy got himself together. He's back. And we're about to make it happen. And it didn't happen. It happened with somebody else. And there was a lot of push and pull within me for a couple years. Like, as I said, I ended it on this note. Baffled by his perspective, I sat in silence to let him hear himself speak. I eventually spoke my feelings, but I was too unaware of the damage that had been done to even articulate what was truly hurting me. I just knew it didn't feel like my fault this time. This was his choice. But even after him making that decision, talking about him getting a girlfriend, I emotionally remained attached. Even after him making that decision, I emotionally remained attached. Attached to what, Micaiah? Attached to the idea that this is my man. This is my husband. There will still be sporadic encounters after that. But one of the sporadic moments was when he asked me that particular question. And you can purchase the ebook. You can purchase the I'm No Superhuman ebook by clicking the link in the description to figure out what that question was. But I really just want to touch on this point right here about me being emotionally, like remaining emotionally attached after I knew that he had a girlfriend. In my defense, in anyone's defense who is in this situation or who has ever been, emotions just don't cut off like that. If you love somebody, you love them. Love doesn't stop. If you stop loving someone, then it was never love. But my idea of us getting back together kept me even more emotionally attached. I didn't know how to let go. That's just the honest truth. And even though, like I said, I wasn't interacting with him, the fact that I was having these visions and fantasies in my mind, or these interactions in my mind, is like just as bad, because it's like I'm not respecting what's actually happening, which is that he has moved on. Like, yeah, he's moved on. And you are neglecting yourself while you are waiting on him to come back to you. Let's go ahead and get into these points. The 3 ways you can respect other people's journey and not neglect your own is by being aware, being accountable, and being active. Say it with me. Be aware, be accountable, and be active. Be aware. Let's talk about awareness first. Awareness of this is not right. This is not okay. This is not in alignment. This is not what I want to do. This is not where I am. This is not who I want to be. This is not what I agreed to. Being aware of what's actually happening within you, around you, within other people. And this is how you could first, or this is the beginning process of you respecting other people's journey. For example, in this situation right here, awareness is, Micaiah, this is over. This is done. Yes, you have history, and it's unfortunate that you have to, like, you have to make this drastic change that you wasn't expecting. But you can't forget that this is supposed to be uncomfortable. You are aware of truth. right now. Like, you are living in truth. This is not what you want it to be. This is not what you feel it should be. This is exactly what it is. And my gracious Heavenly Father, He told me He didn't have the balls. Lord, I hate that I said balls, Lord, and God all in the same sentence. However, Lord, forgive me. He didn't have the guts. Maybe that's better. He didn't have the guts to tell me that he had a girlfriend. When we had our conversation, he was like, I just didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you. Huh? Tell me the truth. Hurt my feelings and tell me the truth. Don't hurt me and lie. But my Heavenly Father was so gracious to let me know what was going on before he even let me know, before I even found out. God is so gracious. He is so good. He is so kind. Like, He will be with you in any given situation through thick and thin. It doesn't mean that anything isn't going to happen to you, but when you got God with you, it's different. Even with the stuff that I'm going through right now, it's different, y'all. I promise you, just having God with me on my side, I'm telling you, my sanity for real could have been in the middle of the road, ran over by a million cars by now. But no, I'm intact. I'm grounded in this season of my life. But he told me he has a girlfriend. Very clear. Very clear. This was my introduction to how sharp my ear was getting. This was after the pandemic. Okay. This was after, like, please go look at videos 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm constantly talking about this pandemic experience where God was really increasing my discernment. I want to even add a couple weeks before, no, maybe 3 or 4 weeks before, he had reached out to me and said that he missed me. Right. And that's what made me believe, like I said, that made me believe that we were going to get back together. But before he sent me that text, God had spoke to me again. He said, it was so clear as day, y'all. When I tell you, God will look out for you. Let him look out for you. Please let God look out for you. God said, I was in the gym. He said, he's going to text you in 5 days. Do not text him back. Plain as day. I cannot make this up. I will not make this up. I will not lie on YouTube to the people. I'm not lying to y'all. I was in the gym and God said he is going to text you in 5 days. Do not text him back. Guess what I did? So this is what I did. When he texted me, I was like, oh, he texted me. Because we hadn't talked in a while. Like I told you, this was our routine. Like, go a couple months without talking to each other and then, right? So when he texted me, I counted the days. I was like, he really texted me in 5 days. And I didn't text him back instantly. I didn't text back at all. What I did was, maybe a week later, I hearted the message. Child, talk about disobedience. Do not. God said what he said. Now, he said what he said. Don't spin it how you want to spin it now. Just listen. I hearted the message a week later. That's what started the conversation of, do you miss me? Blah, 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 da, 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 da. 2 weeks later, car gets stuck in a ditch. Boom, boom, boom. I found out I'm blocked because I called you off of my coworker's phone. And then I asked you, do you got a girlfriend? He said yes. After God told me that he had a girlfriend. I just had to come to terms with the fact that this is it. It's over. It's done. And my Heavenly Father he was making it known to me before it was known to me, before it came into this hemisphere, before I really realized what was happening. He was letting me know. He was putting me on game. So the first step is to be aware. Tap in with your Heavenly Father. He'll give you some tea. But also, too, don't deny what you see, what you feel, what you sense. It's real. Awareness is a gift. Okay? All right. Point number 2. Be accountable. So we could start with the accountability of in this situation. We could start with me admitting that I should have never hearted that message a week later. That was still responding. I should have never responded at all. Admitting exactly what it is, like, I've played my part in this. So I can't even make him the villain and me just play the victim the whole entire time, because that's not what this is, you know? Like, that's never what it was. I knew that we were in a cycle and we were comfortable with the cycle. And it took a lot for me to, it took a lot of me sitting still to realize the part that I had played, because in society, women are often projected as the victims and men are the villains. We know this. And it admitting, like, okay, my kid, you have abandonment issues. You don't want to be alone. You have a problem with being alone. And this is why you are settling. This is why you are allowing certain things to happen. Do you really want to continue the cycle of just talking for 2 months and then not talking for 2 months? No. But you feel like it works. You feel like it works. You feel like you're not really worthy of love or the love that you desire to have. And this is why you are doing the things that you are doing. I had to be accountable. I had to put on my big girl drawers and say, you have to know your demons. Know the thing. Come on, go into your own life's library, study your patterns, and figure out why you do the things that you do. I went into my own life's library and I read the book of abandonment again. And I read up on all the previous relationships I had been in. And I was like, oh, this is something that was happening prior to him, girl. Since high school, like every situation or every relationship or whatever guy who I was like, who I really liked at that time, there was always another girl involved in some way, a baby. And I had to go back and read those stories of my life or review those moments in my life and say, this is why you are still emotionally attached even after you found out he had a girlfriend, because maybe you feel like this is how life is supposed to be. Like, it's okay. Like, nobody could choose you first and commit to you first. Like, I had to check myself. I had to be accountable and say, my Kia, this is not acceptable. Last step is to be active. Being active looked like not going on his page every day to see what he tweeted. It looked like, hey, let's take a fast, girl. Let's do a fast. Baby steps. Let's do a 30-day fast of not going on any of his social medias to see what he posted. Baby steps. Baby steps. It looked like not listening to certain songs that would take me back. It looked like not telling him happy birthday. I know some of y'all are like thinking like, my yeah, like, why would you tell a man who has a girlfriend happy birthday? Y'all got to understand, this was a cycle that I was so used to. Emotionally, like, I'm like this motherly type person. Like, I'm still cool with all my exes. Like, I don't have conversations with them, but I have no beef with any of my exes. That's what I need for y'all to understand. Like, none of my exes hate me at all. Like, because I've done nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I haven't done anything, but it's cool. Like, there's peace. It's like, God bless you. If you're so used to a certain routine, or you're so used to telling a person happy birthday, then it's just like, oh, a simple happy birthday is not, it's harmless. I'll admit that there were times where I didn't restrain myself as much as I could have. Like, this is me being accountable. I'm being accountable now. I'm being accountable. There was moments where I needed a conversation for more clarity about what went wrong, what's going on. Do you still got your girlfriend? But then there would be other moments where I really, really restrained myself, and I have so much discipline. This is what we were talking about last week about not judging yourself too much while you are going through an unlearning process. And that's what this was. It was an unlearning process for me. Like my life without him in my psyche. Like every day just thinking about him and what we're going to do and how we're going to be and like how we're going to be together and our family. Like I had to erase all of that. So it was ugly. It didn't look like cold turkey in the beginning. It looked like me in a crack house trying not to take any drugs. It was like, okay, my kid, don't tell him happy birthday. 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 But then I would get a text, a message saying, oh, you need to tell me happy birthday. Child. But we only talking about me today. We only talking about me. I love you if you watching. And I'm telling all of our business. I know. I didn't want to be emotionally attached, especially emotionally attached to a man who didn't belong to me. He didn't belong to me. There were moments where he was going through his unlearning process too. He still had his moments of entitlement. One moment of entitlement was when he asked me that question. I'm telling y'all, download the ebook. Y'all better download the ebook. And it's for $2.99. It's like, and it's not gonna be $2.99 for a very, very long time. So you better get it while you can. But that question that he asked me, this was a moment where I had to be very active. And I had to make a decision in that moment to stand up for myself. I had to allow God to put me in a position where I just, like I said, I didn't, where I wasn't seeking to destroy his ego or to make him feel like he was king of the world or to make him feel like he was less than, but to tell him what the truth was, what the truth is. Like we started off as friends. So if we're friends, let's go ahead and keep it a buck. I told him about himself. I told him about me. And I respected his journey. Like I respected his journey. I well wishes, my brother. Like well wishes. Like I respect your journey. This is what you chose. As a matter of fact, love is respect. Like I firmly believe that love is respect. If you can't respect me, if you can't honor me, it's not love. It's no longer love. You are acting out of ego, entitlement, or insecurity, whatever it may be, but it's not love, darling. So I had to show him exactly how much I loved him by telling him the truth. You're doing, like, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is so wrong. And you're hurting me. Like, you are contributing to the wound that never healed. And I'm allowing you to. We have both played a part in this demise. We have both played a part in this neglect. And I told him, I said, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to therapy. So being active in this sense was me standing up for myself. I had to stand up for the truth. I had to say what it was. And if you got some love for me, if you got just a teensy weensy little bit love for me, like you wouldn't even cross me in that way. You wouldn't even ask me a question like that. The audacity. The audacity. And I really, really want y'all to know what that question was. Like I said, you could download the ebook "I'm No Superhuman." The moment I truly expressed what was hurting me by clicking the link in the description. But y'all, it's time. Like it's time to stop playing games. It's time for you to go ahead and make that shift that you need to make. And it might hurt while going through the unlearning process or shaking off old habits, but it's necessary. I'm talking to myself too. So you have to be aware. Be aware of what's no longer in alignment. You have to be accountable for the ways that you have contributed to you being out of alignment, and you have to be active. What am I going to do now? What are you going to do now to get yourself back into alignment to where you need to be? If you feel that whatever I said today really resonated with you, the piece that I did read from the book, if you feel like, oh my God, like I need to know in detail how my kid really handled the situation, purchase the ebook. Purchase the ebook for $2.99 because it's not going to be $2.99 much longer. So please, please take advantage of that. At the end of the ebook, you will find the 10 self-care tips. The ebook will give you more context about why I wrote the self-care tips the way that I did. And also too, if you download the free self-care tips, you'll be ahead of the game with what we're going to talk about in the upcoming weeks of this 10-week series. And lastly, after you read the book, right, I want to know what it brought up for you. I want to know how it inspired you. People have came up to me and told me what this book has meant to them, and I'm like, I was just child, this was just like a short story, because I don't know if I told you, but it's only like 15 to 20 minutes, like a 15-20 minute read. I didn't think it was going to move people the way that it did, but it has been moving people. And I know it'll move you. And I want to know your business, not your business, but I just genuinely want to know what it brought up for you. So if that's something that you're interested in, then the No Cape Required, the I'm No Superhuman ebook companion, that one-on-one session, I need for you to get into that. You could click the link in the description as well. So a 60-minute one-on-one session with me, no performance, no perfection, just come as you are. You come as you are, and you tell me, like I said, what the book has brought up for you. Afterwards, I'll customize a voice memo for you, a 3 to 5 minute voice memo for you to have with you in your transitional season, as you are trying to set boundaries, as you are trying to let go of the familiar, as you are trying to grow into the person that you're supposed to be and as you are trying to stay in alignment. Click the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share this video with someone who really, really needs it. If your homegirl who you know need to get out of that situation ship, and you like, girl, I'm gonna need for you to get over this man, woman, whatever. Share this video with them. Share this video. Or if it's your homeboy, I don't want to discriminate. If there's someone that you care about and you feel that they are in a similar situation, share this video with them. Share it. See what they got to say. Y'all could discuss it amongst yourselves, but thank y'all for your support. This has been a very interesting time, very interesting series, and I'm excited to continue. This is week 5. We have 5 more weeks to go. Next week, we are going to discuss journaling your prayers. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I am going to read you maybe 1 or 2 journal entries so y'all can understand why this self-care tip is so important while you're going through a transition. With that being said, I'll see y'all next week, next Sunday at 6 p.m.